Hello everybody, Indom601, Warren Victory here, and no more than like, if it wasn't the day, if not the day after, I uploaded my last video on the collector dinosaurs, 3 new images were released of 3 new figures. I apologize if I sound sick today, because I have been feeling kind of sickly lately, but let's just cut straight to the chase and get on with the 3 figures that have been revealed. Here we have the first. I have to call this thing an animal because this isn't a dinosaur, which I am calling Chunky Boy because its actual name is way too complicated for me to say. I'm pretty sure its actual name is. Just give me a second. Lizalgae. Lezoica. Lezoica. I'm calling this thing Chunky Boy because it is very chunky. It's like if you combined a hippo with those Decotodons, I believe they're called, from Primeval. But as for the actual figure, it looks alright. I have to say, my main highlight of the figure is probably its underbelly. Because as you see in the figure, nearly the whole entire bottom of it is covered in these little black and brown spots. That can be interpreted in 2 different ways. First off, that could be the actual pattern of the animal, and second of all, that could be the mud from the possible environment it lived in. Now, I like that. I like the entire concept of giving figures something that the animals could have been given in the environment. Just overall, this figure it's very chunky. There's no way to describe it. It's basically the Moto of dinosaurs. I have to say, the sculpt is very much simple. Yeah, again, it isn't a reptile, so you don't really need to go in depth and sculpt over details, unlike when you do a reptile. Oh, excuse me, I think I've ate something bad. Ugh. I will say, my only problem with the figure that's really pointing out to me is its eyes. I hate it when figures do this. When they just give the figure, well, the creature in this case, completely black eyes, instead of going into further detail and painting the eyes. With black eyes, it looks like it's been possessed by a demon. But apart from that, it seems to be a decent figure. But I probably won't get it due to it not being an animal of my personal interest. Now moving on to the next figure, which is a very popular animal. Now we have the Megalodon. And this thing, I say, is at a massive disadvantage. Because yes, it looks really good. But it just looks like a massive shark. It just looks like a great white shark. Like, that's no problem with the actual figure. That is the thing with the actual animal itself. It's basically just a massive great white shark. But I do have to say, the sculpt is very good. It looks very smooth, like how sharks are. It looks very streamlined. And my only major complaint is how thick the underbite is. Because, like, I don't know why, but to me, it looks like it'll have a massive underbite when you close the mouth. Yet again, that could have been done on purpose so it would hide the teeth. But I sadly don't have that much to say about this figure, because it's just a massive shark. This figure doesn't particularly interest me because once again it's just a massive shark. And second of all, because it's just a massive shark. So I don't plan to get this figure and it's not an animal of my personal interest. So now moving on to a figure and a dinosaur, which is of my personal interest. Now we have what is probably my favorite collector figure of 2020, the Allosaurus. Now, I'm probably on a bias here, because Allosaurus is my second favorite dinosaur. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, because this is my personal favorite figure, because first off, it's a good looking figure, and second of all, it's a dinosaur that I'm interested in. Now first off, going over the sculpt. I really like the sculpt on this guy. I really like how detailed it is. Because yes, this image isn't the best quality, but from what you can see, this figure looks very detailed with all the lumps and with all the scales sculpted in. And I really like all the spines which are coming out of the back. I will say, one of my favorite things about this figure is how long its tail is. Because I've been in many situations where I see that the figure's tail is really short, where it's normally too short. Hence why the figure can't stand by itself. Meanwhile, this figure has a really long tail, which that will most likely will help with balance. By the way, can I just mention the claws in this thing, mainly on the hands. I really like how skinny these claws look. Because if you look at its hand and you can see that one of the fingers on its hands is pointing up. First off, I like the way that finger's positioned, and second of all, I really like how skinny that claw is to make it kind of seem like it's sharpening scale with the actual figure. I will say my main problem with the figure is first off how small the teeth are. Because if I was them, I'd make the teeth a little bit bigger. And another complaint is how skinny its legs are. How the hell are those skinny legs meant to support this big body? And I really like the paint on it. To me, it kind of looks like the Allosaurus from Walking with Dinosaurs. With this greenish yellow with a little bit of red on the top. But overall, I like the look of this figure. I'll probably end up picking it up next year, like what I do with most dinosaurs, or at least attempt to. And out of every figure coming out next year, this is probably my favorite, and if not my favorite, then one of my favorites. Okay, now I believe that all the figures for collected for 2019. And I think next year will be a good year for collector. Unlike Slight, which is horrible as usual. And Safari, in my opinion, which is very bland and pretty much disappointing. This next lineup of figures, including the last ones, look good. They don't look amazing, but they don't look terrible, and they don't look bland. But now it's all up to Papo, my personal favorite company, to reveal what figures they have for 2020. Yet again, at this rate, the new Spinosaurus might end up being for 2020 at this rate. Because that thing's been delayed like 3 times. And now at the moment it's meant to come out for December. It's a mess. It really is. And the distribution is going to be an absolute mess as well. But I'll probably go on to that when Papo releases the next few figures. Now let's just hope in the next 2 days Collector don't release any more images. So thank you all so much for watching, and here is Domtex01 signing out, and don't forget to fear Koopa.